right. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to start piano with you all next week. So, I wanted to pass on some information. Um, sorry, I'm going to have to, I'm not doing well, we did some Facebook Live last year, but here we go. Okay. So I wanted to start off with some issues, of course, regarding safety and cleanliness. We're going to have the children in my piano room. Most of you have seen it. I'll have pianos set up around the room, and we will do some floor time in the center as always, and then they'll each have a piano station. So before they come to class, I would just like to really emphasize that you guys get here on time, or early, actually get a little early, so you can take them to the restroom, and then also make sure you supervise washing their hands really well before they come into class. That will really help. Oh boy, my battery might die. So I might have to run and get my cord. But anyway, okay, so make sure that you go ahead and get them to the bathroom and wash their hands really well before they come into class, every class. I will, of course, be cleaning between classes and wiping everything down so that we don't transfer from one class to the other. Also, let's see, we will be playing, often we play holding hands games or going around games. And so the hold on one second, I'm going to close the door. Hey, buddy. Shh. Please be quiet. I'm trying to record. You know what? Would you go get my phone cord for me and bring it back to me? All right, people. Sorry about that. Okay. So we will play no touch games this year. So we will I'll try to keep the games to, just walking around in circles and stuff. But of course, your kids love to tussle with each other. And so I may or may not be able to keep them from touching each other. So I just wanted to put that out there. Let's see. During family time, I think I mentioned on the email, I'll bring the kids out for family time, and we'll do family time in the living room where we can spread out a little bit and be a little further apart, okay? I will have video classes. It looks like I'm going to have video classes for the Piano 2 class, because I have one student who is probably not going to make it to class every day. If I would prefer not to video every class if I don't have to, but if you are not able to make it to class, I will gladly video the class. I would just really appreciate it if you could let me know ahead of time so I can set up the video. It works best if I have a helper helping me video, so we can keep it pointed at the right things. But if I don't have that, it'll just be a stationary video and you can follow along as best you can. So we'll try to video any class that you miss. Just please let me know ahead of time if you are going to miss that class, if possible, okay? I will also this year do some more follow-up videos. That worked really well last year when we were kind of forced to do instruction on video. So I will probably go ahead and do some follow-up videos as you guys have questions. I will record some things, and probably especially for you new families who are the method is going to be brand new. So I will be recording some follow-up videos for you to be able to go back and say, hey, oh, that's what that was. All right. I think, oh yeah, of course, if anybody in your house is sick, please stay home and just let me know, and I'll video the class for you. And your child, if they're not sick, or if they're not sick, very sick, you can have them follow along with the class. Okay. So that's going to be the new procedures. You can wear a mask if you want to, and you can have your child wear a mask, and I will enforce that if you want me to. I'm not going to require children to wear masks. Some people it's a hard thing, because people who don't want to wear masks tend to be very strong about that, and people who do tend to be very strong about that. And so I just want to be sensitive to you all and letting you decide what you need and what you want for your children, and I will do my best to keep my space clean and sanitary and keep our kids safe. So that is all for safety issues. Now I am going to transition to for my beginning families, okay? And this is going to be a review for those of you who are not new to Music Garden. But you might want the review, I don't know. So you understand. This is more for my beginning piano families. I really need you guys to have a little bit of a heads up of what is coming for your children for piano this year, because it's a very different method. I was taught with a very traditional piano method, sit down in front of a book and find the notes and plunk them out one at a time. And I learned piano classically. I trained classically in college, and I have a piano performance degree, but I don't perform. I am more of a teacher. I love teaching, and I never really loved the whole performance aspect of it. I have done some playing for churches and playing for weddings back in the day when I was doing a little bit of performing, but mostly I love playing for me and my family, and I love teaching. So that's what I do. So this is going to be a new, hi Jenny. Yes, you can leave if you are not a beginning family. Thank you for answering the question. So yeah, you know everything about this already. So what I want you to know for the new families, and normally what I would try to do is a parent orientation live with you guys, and I thought this would be the best way to do a parent orientation. You can watch it whenever you want. You can rewatch it, and I will address these things along the way as well as we go through the class. So even though this is going to seem like a lot of information, don't worry. This is just your introduction to it. Okay, so we're going to keep going over and over this information. So Music Garden was founded to address the needs of children and their learning, their learning developmental stages. And the research showed that children develop their aural abilities, their hearing, listening, musical abilities from birth to 9 years old. So Music Garden has started they developed this program that is targeting developmental stages from birth until 9 years old. So we do the piano program starting at 6. Children who have the best aural skills tend to be the most successful, okay? So we develop their aural skills here. Now, just like in language, they listen first, then they speak, then they learn to write, and then they learn to read. Or sometimes writing and reading mixed together, right? So in Music Garden, we do the same thing. Now, when they're babies, they walk and they tumble, or they crawl and they tumble and they walk and they pull themselves up, and they love swinging and being thrown up in the air. That's because they're developing their vestibular system, which is primarily in their inner ear. They have to develop that vestibular system, that balance, whole body balance system, in order to develop the ability to hear and listen well. And when they have when they have developed the ability to hear and listen well, then they can develop the ability to speak and read and write well. So we're following that same method with piano, okay? Good aural, good listening skills leads to good note reading skills, and that is what we're after. We're going to be putting them on a pathway to musical literacy, okay? So they're going to learn to read music primarily through notation games. And let's see, I have my notation games here, so I will show you some pictures of those quick. But before we look at anything, we're going to be working on developing their ears, okay? So, for example, I am going to teach them how to read rhythms, right? But, oh boy, where are my yellow cards? Okay, here they are. Nope, those are pink. Well, I'll use the pink ones. Okay, so I'm going to teach them how to read rhythms. Here's a rhythm, okay? But before we learn how to read rhythms, they are going to hear the rhythm and chant the rhythm. Ba, 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 and they're going to echo me. Ba, 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 ba. If you've been in a music garden class before, you've probably already done this. And then we add the language to it, and we do this all in the first week in piano, or the first class in piano class. We go ahead and chant the rhythm, and then we add the language. So this rhythm here is going to be do day do day. So do day do day, and we chant that, but we don't look at the cards until they are feeling and thinking and hearing and being able to replicate do day and feeling that, what we call duple rhythm. We have duple, which means in twos, and we have a triple rhythm, which means in threes. Then they have separate languages. So do day, and then we have a triple language, which you don't have to worry about right now. I will teach it later. It has a different sound to it. The triple language has more of a flowing sound, so it will sound more like, if I can find one of the triple cards here. Here we go. It will sound more like do da dee do da dee. It's a little more flowy. Do da dee do da dee. Now again, we start out making sure that they can feel it, sing it, hear it. Then and in later classes, not very long, doesn't take them very long, to start looking at it and reading it. Okay, so we introduce the notation pretty quickly, but only as their ears are trained. Now, when we do the same thing, that's the rhythm, we do the same thing with the tonals. Music, of course, is not just rhythm. Music has tone, right? So the very first thing they learned to sing and play is do, sol, bum, bum. We want them to hear that interval. Bum, bum. Interval is the space between two notes. So they're going to learn the first week how to sing and play bum, bum. And then they're going to learn that that's called do, sol. And then they're also going to learn sol, mi, do, that there's a mi in the middle. Okay? We use the solfege to label the tones, right? We don't make a big deal out of it. They actually pick it up pretty quickly. And they use their ears. They have to sing do, sol. They don't pick it up quickly. Oh, Galena's doing something else. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I have text popping up. I should have turned that off somehow. So they learn to sing and play the patterns, and then they turn those patterns into a song. So I need you to know that there is a song process. I'm going to show you the song process right now, but I don't want you to freak out about it. You're going to see it over and over again. But the song process is what takes them from singing and hearing and listening to playing on the piano. I don't want them to visually memorize finger patterns. I want them to connect their ears to what they hear and what they think they should hear for the song. So for example, one of our first songs starts out like this. Listen for bells in the steeple to ring. Ding, 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 ding. So their first thing they have to do is find do, sol, and I'm going to show them how to do that, okay? But then I give them a pattern. Once they find their spot, do, sol, then I give them a pattern, and the pattern sounds like this. Do, 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 sol, sol, sol. And they echo me. Do, 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 sol, sol, sol. Then I show them a basic finger pattern, okay? It's very basic. I show them with my thumb will be do. Do, 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 sol, sol, sol. So I am showing them which fingers I'm going to play with, but I'm not actually letting them see me play it on the piano because I want them to find it and hear it, listen to it, and make sure it sounds right. So hopefully they will go to the piano, and I will help them with this. After they find do, sol, and they're going to learn to follow my finger patterns, they will sing and play. Actually, I'll sing and play first. Do, 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 sol, sol, sol on my arm. Then they will sing and play. Do, 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 sol, sol, sol. Now, if they happen to sing a wrong note, play a wrong note, do, 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 sol, 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 I'll say does that sound right? That didn't sound right. We should figure out what's wrong and play something else. So I want them to connect their ears to what they're playing and what they're expecting, what they're hoping to play. Okay? When they have played the correct pattern, then I will ask them to turn that pattern into the song. And I say, turn the pattern into the song. Listen for bells in the... And then they'll go back and they'll play that same pattern. Listen for bells in the... And usually they kind of have this little aha moment, like, oh, that I just played that thing that I know how to sing. And they get really excited about it. Now, for the beginning, I spoon feed them the notes. But later on, I don't. I just give them a pattern. They have to figure it out. So for example, when I sing mouse, mousey, well, I'm going to give them a pattern that is sol, mi, do. They're going to sing it. Then I'm going to play it on my arm, sol, mi, do, so that they can see the pattern that I played on my arm. Then they have to find sol, mi, do. But you see, that's just the notes, right? That doesn't include the rhythm. So I'm going to then sing, we're going to turn that pattern into mouse, mousey. Okay? And they're going to go back and go, mouse, mousey. And magically, they have made music by adding rhythm to their tones. So later on, I require them to add their own repeated notes. When we do, who's that tapping at the window? For tapping at the window, I only give them re, mi, re, do. But you see, that's only 3 notes. Re, mi, or 4 notes. Re, do. And I said, tapping at the window, 6 notes. So we have to add some repeated notes in there, and I asked them, how do you think we're going to do that? And they have to figure out that tapping is the same note, right? Bum, bum, tapping, tapping at the window. So there's a whole process for that. So you see, it builds in complexity as they train their ears, and we keep it simple and successful. So whatever they can do is what we continue to do until they're ready for the next step, okay? Now, one other thing I need you to know is that do moves around, okay? So the letter names of the keys, you'll hear me talk about D, do. Well, D is one of the 2 keys. I don't know if you can see that down here. And D, and so we start out finding where D is, but we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it starts over again with A. That's just the note names on the white notes of the piano. We don't really worry about that other than to say, I need to start on a G. Oh, well, that's this one. Or I need to start on a D. Or maybe we're going to start on a C. There's a C. Okay, that's just telling us where our notes are on the piano. But if we want to know what to play and how to play it, we have to use what's called our solfege. So solfege starts with do. Do. I'm going to start with D, do. Right now, D is do, okay? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Sorry, I ran out of space. All right, but here we go. It starts with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If you've seen The Sound of Music, you've heard this before, right? This is called our major scale. When we play in major, and you're going to learn these first 5 notes first and foremost. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay, that's our major pentachord, major scale. Now, the thing is, I can make do be anywhere. So I can, when I sing, see the pony galloping, galloping, I could start that on pretty much any note. See the pony galloping, galloping, or see the pony galloping, galloping. So see, I'm moving do around because do is my starting note, and I'm moving it to different notes, and that's called transposing. Kids don't know that's hard, so we just let them transpose all they want. In fact, we encourage them to play their songs in all the different keys, and they're already transposing pretty quickly within the first few weeks. So the reason we use what's called movable do is because it helps them to know how to transpose, okay? So you'll hear me talk about movable do. We'll say D do. We might say C do. Okay, and that just means that do is our resting tone. It's the note that we're going to end on. It's our base note, basic note, the bottom note of our scale. And so we're going to rest on that note, and then either D or C or G or F or E, any of those could be, or A or B, any of those could be our resting tone, okay? So, now, we are going to introduce very quickly to them, not just the major scale, but also the minor scale. The second most common scale in music is the minor scale. And what we do for minor, the minor scale just starts on La, okay? So if I sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, it keeps going up, but it also keeps going down. Do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. Okay, and keeps going down. But, so if I want to do a major scale, the major scale actually starts on La. So if minor. Minor scale starts on La. So La is going to be our resting tone. If I start on D, La, that means my scale sounds like this. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And I start and end on La for my scale, okay? So I don't want you to get confused by that. We have, let's see, I'm not holding up so you can see it. So major scale starts on Do, resting tone will be Do. Minor scale starts on La, and the resting tone will be La. The difference is mainly this middle note right here. So here the middle note is Do, and here the middle note is Mi. So if I do a major scale, Do, re, mi, fa, sol, right there. But if I use the same note and start on La, La, ti, do, re, mi. So you can hear that middle note is a little bit lower, okay? If you can't hear it, don't worry. You're going to hear it lots of times. Your kids will probably pass you up and they'll be able to do it better than you, and that's okay. If you have some musical background, that might help you. But I have lots of parents who have no musical background at all, and they're very successful at this just by being encouraging to their kids and enjoying what their children do, okay? So that is movable Do, movable La, movable Do for our majors, movable La for our minors, our solfege, our song process, and a little bit about the notation games. Everyone will get the same new song each week. Ooh, I'm so sorry about that. You guys can see I'm a total amateur at this. Everyone will get the same new song each week. And then depending on how well they do, I can always ante up the song and make it a little harder for them, or I can bring it down to more basic if they're struggling. All kids learn differently, they catch on to things differently, so even though we're in a group setting, they're still going to get some individual attention. In fact, in the Piano 1 class, I am going to ask my son, who's 14, to be in here with us. He's an excellent pianist also, and he loves Music Garden, and he's been wanting to do it anyway, so I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity. I'm going to have 7 kids in here, I think, and he can help. He will be helping to make sure everyone gets the individual attention they need in the short amount of time that we have. So we will be working hard on that. Sometimes the kids, some kids will be doing something very basic. They might still be stuck on do, so, mi, do, so, mi, do. They might just be needing to do that for a week while other kids are playing a song, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I've seen kids who we thought they were going to be way behind, and then all of a sudden they catch on and they're right with everybody else, or not. You know, it's fine either way. I had a young lady who was just creative and brilliant in so many ways, but she just struggled to put all the concepts together on piano. So I always had to keep them separate. If I started to put anything together, she would just shut down and not want to do anything at all. So she went through all 3 years with me, and I think she went into dance after that, and that was fine. But she got the musical training, and her mom felt like it was really worth it for her to go through 3 years of Music Garden, even though she wasn't going to go on and play an instrument after that. So Music Garden will help your child, even though we're doing the piano. This 3-year program will help your child learn to read music, and they will be able to go on and play another instrument if they like, or they can continue on with piano and excel with the training that they've been given. You, as the parents, are the key to success, okay? I'm going to make them successful in the classroom because that's my job. But you're with them every day. And I'm going to give different hints along the way about how to encourage your children, how to help them be successful. But a lot of it is really just your attitude. They don't necessarily want to be corrected by you, and that is perfectly fine. You don't ever have to correct them. I can do that in the classroom. What I would encourage you to do is just be a help to them when they need it and when they want it. Whether it's just turning on the CD so they can listen to it, saying, "Hey, let's go over this song on the practice CD. I'll try it with you." You can always try it with them. You probably could do it with them. I have one mom who would just always go to the piano and go, "What was that again?" And then she would play it totally wrong. And I don't know if she was doing it on purpose or not, but her kids would come over and go, "No, Mom, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it." And that worked pretty well for her. So I have another mom who was, her daughter was so successful, and she just would say, "Honey, would you just play for me while I cook dinner? I just love hearing you play while I cook dinner every day." And that was her practice time. So figure out what works for you. Practice time at the beginning, I say, is for Piano 1, and only Piano 1 students, not you older ones if you're still watching. The Piano 1 students at the very beginning, if you can get them at the piano for a good 10 to 15 minutes and listen to the CD, I'm really happy with that. And they'll be very successful when they come back to the next class. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them or email me at any time. And I will, I think that's all I have to share with you right now. I hope I didn't overwhelm you with too much. You'll be hearing all that terminology and all that stuff again. I just wanted to give you a heads up so that you're not totally blindsided by it on the first day. So let me know, again, if you have any questions or any thoughts, and I'd be happy to consider anything that you want to share with me. Okay, I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday, and then the Piano 2 and 3, second and third year classes on Wednesday. Bye-bye.